Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TMX Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan, and this week is all about quick, fast meals because as far as I'm concerned, the less time in the kitchen, the better. Anyone watching along today, do say hi and let me know. Do you like to take your time in the kitchen or do you like to get it over and done with super quick? Now, I'm going to show you today something that I've kind of shaken up a bit from a cookie dough recipe. Now, it does work best on the TM6. However, I will tell those of you with a TM5, a TM31, or maybe some other thermo cooker, I'll tell you today how this can be done as well. So let's get started. I'm actually going to use the quick gyros with tzatziki recipe. Now, it is ordinarily a pork-based recipe. And let me tell you, you can actually use any meat you want with this. So if you want to use beef, you want to use chicken, you want to use tofu, I reckon might even work. I'm not hugely experienced with tofu, but you could just about do anything with this. I think you could even do veggies. So how cool is that? So the great thing about this is then you can use it as gyros on a piece of bread with your beautiful tzatziki, or you can use it on pizza, lunch, bread things like sandwiches, that's the word I'm after, wraps, however you want, or just on the plate on their own. So it is just fantastic. Now the key obviously to this recipe is, I'm just looking for my jar that I've lost, is the actual gyros seasoning. Now it is in the beginning of this recipe. Oh, here it is, it's right there. Can't see it. And it actually makes a huge amount. So I don't know if you can see this jar, but this is my very first batch from a very long time ago. It's got a very, very old olive label on there. But this jar has been going for a year, probably, maybe longer, and I just keep using this. So this is I know what this is my gyros seasoning. So we're going to be able to, therefore, because we've got the seasoning done, we're going to be able to skip over. Oh, look at all these people on this afternoon. I've just scrolled over. Hey Carissa, hey Kim, hey Grace, lovely to have you guys on. So we can skip this, but if you want to make it, it's super easy. It's going to tell you, and I'll step it through with you. It's actually going to tell you to place a sealable container on top of the mixing bowl lid and put on into that some chili powder. I think we skipped that because the kids don't eat it. Ground coriander, ground paprika, cumin, garlic powder, dried parsley, oregano, thyme, cinnamon, salt, and set aside. So put it in your jar, give it a shaky shake, and put it aside until another day. That's how easy the first step is with this recipe. Next, then we're going to add to the bowl 1 garlic clove. Now, I'm not actually going to do this. This is making your tzatziki. I'm skipping the tzatziki. I'm using the meat as a standalone on the plate with salad for dinner. Simple as that. So I'm going to skip the tzatziki. And it would be easy. It's a cucumber, de-seeded, in with the garlic, then in with some sour cream. If you can't do dairy, yogurt, coconut yogurt is a great variation. Just put a little bit of vinegar in to give you a bit of a sour twist to it. Some salt, some herbs, and insert the measuring cup. So that chops down, you set it aside, clean and wash and dry the bowl. Now, here we go. Now it tells you to, into a bowl, place 400 grams of pork strips. Now, if you are pressed for time, or like me, you don't like touching meat, get it in the container already pre-cut from your supermarket. You know, buy the strips of chicken ready cut, or buy the beef strips, stir-fry strips, or those sorts of things, so that it's pre-cut. You don't need to cut it yourself. All right, nothing worse. I hate it. I hate cutting meat. Anyone else testify to that? So it says to get your strips, and then it says to add 30 grams of the gyros mix. So my shortcut is I literally do a bit of this on my chopping board because I didn't buy it pre-cut. It's a bit scarce in our shops up here. And just give it a good sprinkle. And then it says to put some oil, I think, with it. So I'm obviously not weighing 50 grams. Don't get hung up on that. Kind of go with whatever feels right. Then it wants some veggie oil. I'm just going with the good old olive oil. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Yep, excellent. And now we're going to then cook this off. Now the next thing says to stir to combine, and now we're going to add some onion. Now you'll notice in this onion step, it actually asks for a sliced onion. Little different to what we're used to in Thermomix world. Why? Because it's actually going to use high heat cooking to cook this off, and it's going to give you a really nice Bunnings barbecue style texture is the best I can explain it as. So let's take our lid off. I do have my splash guard there, reset the scales. So I've got a small brown onion that I have cut in half and sliced in, and it says thin strips. I don't know what they mean by thin strips. So what does it says 5 mil. Oh, mine might be 8 mil. And in that goes. Okay, I think mine's a little short, but that's hopefully okay. Next, some more veggie oil, 20 grams. And this goes in. Now, if you don't like onions, skip this out. Maybe you've got a different type of onion, do that. However, if you have a TM6 and high heat, you got to get pretty close to your weight measurement. So I'm going to go a little heavy on the oil just to make up for the fact that I was a little light on the actual onion, because it doesn't like it. It doesn't like high heat if you don't meet the weight. So on with the lid. And now, did it not say splash guard? No, it did not. That's okay. I'm going to use my splash guard. It's got 2 minutes, 120 degrees, reverse speed 1. So actually, that didn't use high heat yet. I could have kept my oil down. I could have even done less oil. Thought it was going to high heat it off. Anyway, if you're at home and you're doing this in your kitchen, this would be your time, if you haven't bought your sliced meat, to actually slice and dice your rump, your pork, your chicken, whatever you want to do. All right, that's your time now to do this. You can have a look at the next steps by hitting the preview button, and it walks you through. Now you can see here it's saying 200 grams, and you might be thinking, hang on Lise, you did 400 grams. Actually, I don't know how much I've got here, I just cut some up. But the reason being is if you want a really nice sear or browning on your meat, you need to stick to the weight requirements. If you go and double that, which it's very tempting to do, but if you go and double that, it's going to boil off because there's not enough surface area on the bottom of the pan to actually brown off. So do it in batches, and you'll see it does 200 grams, and then it tells you to take that out and then put in another 200 grams. And the beauty of this is you can keep scaling it. So if you want to then make 600 grams because you've got more people, take it out, put it in your thermoserver, another 200 grams, and you can just keep going through this process. You can certainly do as many 200 gram batches. Now, this is going to use high heat. If you have a TM5 or a TM31, what do? You can certainly do this recipe in the bowl as we are. It is not going to sear as greatly as you're going to get on a TM6 because it's not as hot. It won't be achieving high heat, but that doesn't stop you doing it. Okay, so just don't go over the 200 grams, but otherwise follow it as it is. All right, and give it a go. Tell me what you think, because until we had a 6, this is how I cooked off meat. Because did you see what happened to my tomatoes in the pan on, what night was that? Sunday night? Or was it Monday? I can't even remember. I can't cook on a stovetop. My distractions, there's too many things going on around me, and so things inevitably end up burnt. So I cannot stir fry meat in a pan because it will not end up very pleasant for anybody, and the neighbors will hear the smoke alarms again. But when I do it in a Thermomix, it works every time, spot on perfectly. Like, how awesome is that? So if you're like me, this is just amazing. It means I can walk away. I've got a certain amount of time where it'll call me back. I can transfer the meat aside and keep going. So it's pretty cool. All right, so here we go. It's not asking me to remove the beautiful onions that are seared off in there. So now it's asking for 200 grams of pork. I bought a spoon so I didn't have to touch it again. Woohoo! And in that goes. Now I've just cut this in strips. It would be stir fry strips. If you bought this at the supermarket, look for stir fry strips if you don't want to have to cut it up yourself. On mine is thigh, but you could do breast as well. It wouldn't really matter. And the cook time would be the same. Okay, 206 grams in. Place the splash guard. So with the TM6, we get the splash guard. If you have a TM5 or a 31 and you're cooking along with this, use your simmering basket. What is happening here is it's actually allowing the steam, the sweat to escape, so we get a better cook off on the meat. Otherwise, it semi-boils off, and we don't want boiled meat. We want seared. We want it sealed and brown and caramelized in there. So that's what we're aiming for. Now, can you hear on a TM6, it stops. If you're doing this on a TM5, by the way, you want reverse, or a TM31, you want reverse. Don't let it go forwards, it'll chop it up. We don't want it chopped up, okay? But yours will not stop. On this, it is starting to sizzle. It's starting to smell absolutely amazing. I wish I could send that smell to you, because those spices and that chicken just smell absolutely amazing. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab a thermo server. Now, if you don't have a thermo server, let's demo and get you one because they are amazing. And I was going to say, or if you're looking at buying a Thermomix, you're going to get one with your TM5 purchase for free. Or if you're looking at, TM5 purchase, hang on, rewind. If you're looking at a TM6, the white TM6, it's coming with a free thermo server, 2.6 litre. If you're looking at the black Thermomix, which is still available, we haven't sold out yet, we're getting close. But if you're looking at a black, it comes with 2 thermo servers for an extra little bit. It's 2,429 in total. Don't make me do the maths, it's too late on a Tuesday afternoon for that. So that's what's going to come with. And the thermo servers, they keep things hot or cold for a couple of hours. Fantastic for cooking pasta. You can cook rice in them as well. Great for incubating your yogurt. I probably use them most for keeping the food hot. Even when hubby used to work a long way from home, if he was stuck in traffic, I'd preheat it with a little bit of boiling water, tip the water out, put it upside down and put it over his plate to keep that hot until he was ready. So can you guys hear that? It smells so good. So does anyone else made this recipe who's watching along? Do say hi, hashtag replay if you're watching replays later. Love to know if you've made the gyros. What do you think? Because it's just amazing. I reckon it'd be really yummy in wraps with the beautiful tzatziki or a garlic sauce. By the way, I don't know if I've mentioned, I probably have mentioned already, but go check out my cheese course. There is a yummy dip that is just like that garlic sauce you get on kebabs, the old school kebabs that I remember years ago. So yeah, check that out over there. It's where you make your own creme fraiche and then you turn it into a beautiful garlic based dip and it just tastes like that. It's yummy. Anyway, you've got me thinking. I think I need to make some of that tonight to go with this now. So 3 minutes to go. I'm going to grab my thermo server because some of you might be wondering what on earth is a thermo server. So let me just get one out of the cupboard to show you before we move on. So here they come. This is a thermo server. This is actually a 2.2 litre thermo server. They have a lid, a black lid and a black base. The base is slightly larger. Don't put the base on the lid, okay, in that position. If you have hot food in there, it'll suction on and you'll have to damage your Thermomix to get it apart. Not a great idea. Some of you guys who've been around for a while, you know what I mean, okay, because you've tried it and it gets stuck. And then you ring me and go, Lisa, I can't get it off and I've got my beautiful soup in there. I've taken it to my friend's house. So don't use the base as a lid, okay? Base goes on the bottom, lid goes on the top. But you can see it's stainless steel, it's high-grade stainless steel, it's dishwasher safe. However, it doesn't go in the oven, does not go in the microwave. Somewhere else it doesn't go. Microwave, oven, stovetop. Don't put it on stovetop. So microwave, oven, stovetop. Anything that makes it go hot, really hot, don't do. All right, it is fine for a freezer. It is fine for the fridge. Although if you're trying to chill it, do take the lid off because it's insulated. It's like a thermos. And something else I was going to say, dishwasher's fine. Oh, and preheat it or pre-chill it. So if you want to take your ice cream to a friend's house 2 hours away, take the lid off and put this in the freezer, let it chill, then fill it with your Fruity Dream, put the lid on, and off you go. If you want to make it last even longer, little tip, put it in your chiller bag from your Woolies or Coles chiller bag. Makes it go even further. If you want it hot, so say you want to cook your pasta or your rice in it, you've got to put a little bit of boiling water in the bottom first, then reboil your jug, tip out the boiling water, and then put your brand new boiling water in there straight away to cook your food. Same if you want to make it last a couple of hours hot, preheat it. Because stainless steel by nature is cold, so your food is going to get cold straight away. All right, it's going to capture that heat, it's going to chill it down, and we don't want that. All right, 10 seconds to go. Let's do this. Got my TM6 spatula, and we're going to transfer this. Oh no, it says 1 minute, I can't read. I thought it said 4 seconds, done it. So, in the chat, hello Denise, lovely to have you on this afternoon as well. So what is everyone having for dinner tonight? I would love to know. This week, as I said, all about quick food in the Thermomix. So being able to whip up things in less time as possible. Like if this was your kitchen and your Thermomix was on, you would now be walking away, doing more important things. Like at my house, hanging out the washing, putting the dishwasher on, all those important things in life. So that's the beauty of our Thermomix cooking, right? We don't have to stand at a stovetop and stand and stir. It's stirring for us. Good afternoon, Anne. Lovely to have you on this afternoon. All right, we're nearly done. 20 seconds, and I'm going to show you what this looks like before we move on. The rest of this step though, the rest of this recipe is purely putting your next 200 grams in and cooking the next step off. It's as simple as that. Now, if you don't want or you don't have gyros seasoning, you don't have all this stuff, what could you use? What about some paprika? Just toss it with paprika and oil. Wouldn't that be yummy? You could do mixed herbs. That would be yummy. Little tip with your lid and your splash guard, always lift things off sideways to stop the drips on the floor. And also lets the steam, which can burn, out away from you. Obviously, I'm standing behind. When you're in front, you can do it a little bit, probably more coordinated than I can. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing. All right, so what does it tell us to do? Read the instructions, Lise. Transfer into a thermal serving bowl or other bowl and cover to keep warm. So I'm going to show you something of what's going on in this bowl in a second. Now you might find, I'm just giving it a scrape because what I want to do is I want to actually put, I wonder if I can show you this. I might lift this, excuse me for a second guys, I'm just going to lift this up and show you. Can you see the bottom of the bowl has some brown on it or black? That is okay. We don't stress about that with the Thermomix. We don't go, oh my goodness, how am I going to clean that up? We simply give it a scrape around and see if we can include it first of all in this food, because that is the beautiful meat that we want to stick. And there's no predictability to which meats will or won't stick, or which oils will or won't stick. I don't know what it is. I actually think it's the water content that varies it, but I haven't figured that out yet. So just give that a little stir. And now, let me just spin this camera, have a little look this way. Out to dinner tonight, Chris. That sounds amazing. Actually, is it your anniversary? I'm sure I saw that today on Facebook. Happy anniversary, Chris. I'm sure that's what I saw. So there we go. There's the first lot of 200. Now, I'm not going to worry about cleaning that mark out in between, all right? Sometimes by the end, it just lifts off on its own. No rhyme or reason. I honestly have no idea why. Other times it will just get darker and darker, and that's okay. Citric acid in your Thermomix is your best friend. So all you put in, and a lot of you guys have heard this before, but new people out there listening, citric acid. 1 tablespoon of citric acid, so the big tablespoon. Heap it up, put it in. 1 cup of water, which is only, and when I say 1 cup, I actually get a coffee cup. I'm not talking about getting a cup. I'm talking about getting like a coffee cup, and just in there. So it's about that much water. And then put it on the kettle feature. And let it come to the boil. Now, if you have a TM5 or a 31, that's okay. You use Varoma, and it'll take about 12 minutes on Varoma. TM6, it'll take about 3 to 4 minutes. And then when it's done, spatula in there, give it a wiggle and a jiggle so that it lifts off the bottom, and then pour it out. And rinse it out. Make sure you do wash it well, otherwise it will make your next lot of food curdle because of the acid in there. Wash it out really well, and good to go again. You'll find it just lifts off so beautifully, the marks. So, oh, and it's your 42nd wedding anniversary today too. Congratulations to both of you guys. So, that is so cool. Hubby and I were trying to work out ours today as well. I don't know, Chris, whether your thing prompted me to try and work out ours or if we were talking about something else, but we were arguing over what year we got married. So, however, maths is not my strong point, and that's probably where I should have stopped arguing. So next thing up, 200 grams of reserve spiced pork, or I've got chicken here. Let's put that in without making a mess. And then we, as I said, we just repeat the process. So now if you don't have yourself one of these thermoservers, reach out, let's jump online and do a demo and get you a thermoserver discounted or free if a friend is ready to buy. Or, and by the way, your friend gets a thermoserver too, because that's the current purchase gift as well. How cool is that? So, what am I up to? Oh, too heavy, Lisa, too heavy. You know what? Because I'm not putting my hand in there, it's going to stay. What's going to happen? It's not going to cook off as nicely. All right, a bit like the TM5 and the TM31 where it's just a bit not brown. It's going to still cook. It's just that it's boiling more than searing. All right, but I'm not going to put my hands in there and pull it out. I've got them clean so far. Oh, look at that, 42nd as well. That is so cool. Oh, that is so lovely. All right, some more oil. We do need to add more oil because I tipped the last lot out in there. So in with, and I'm just using olive oil. We don't buy veggie oil. It's not particularly healthy to cook with. So yeah, you won't see me use it too often in things. I never buy veggie oil, but occasionally we'll use sunflower or grapeseed. Finishing up now, splash guard on, well, lid on first, splash guard second, or if you're using, and by the way, TM6 people, if you can't find your splash guard because somebody unpacked the dishwasher and put it in the wrong place, just use a simmering basket as well. Done. and then spin it and 6 more minutes to go do what you like in your house. So that's it from me this afternoon. I hope you'll give this a go with more than just pork, especially if you're not a pork eater, or maybe you just don't have pork in your fridge or freezer. Try this recipe, tell me what you think, because really it's a couple of minutes of prep, 6 minutes of going and doing something else, and depending on how many people you are feeding, depends on how many batches you do, but ultimately it's 6 minutes of going and doing something else and coming back when the Thermomix calls you. So that's pretty good use of your time. All right, guys, well, have a fantastic afternoon and evening. Let me know if you've got any questions regarding your Thermomixing, if I can support you with a demo or get a Thermomix on your bench. I would be absolutely honored to. But otherwise, guys, take care. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon for some more Thermomixing and doing some more quick meals this week. And next week is going to be quick snacks. So I can't wait, except there's one. I think I've put one other thing in next week that's not a snack, but it looked exciting. So I can't wait to keep carrying on with you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now, guys.